Hey guys, this is episode 3 of Growing Up Pagan. I'm Invoking the Balance, and you're watching my channel on Invoking the Balance at YouTube. So, my first question today, and this might be a couple of questions, it depends on how long it takes me to answer. So far, it's been one question a video. Was there ever any tension between your parents as a result of raising you with both beliefs? As a result of raising me with both beliefs, I don't believe so. Um, I really thought about this one for a while to see if I could remember anything distinct about it being about the religions or spiritual beliefs, and it never became directly about it, if that makes sense. Um, like, for instance, my mom might have a very earthy, save the earth kind of viewpoint on things, whereas my dad might have a very more good old boy Republican kind of thing, like if we need the resources then do it. But um, it was never directly about religion or beliefs like that. It was more so political differences and things like that, social stuff, where they just stood on a different side of the fence with each other. Now, as a result of raising me like that, I don't ever remember them arguing about how to raise me, honestly. Um, I think at some point my dad pretty much just went, all right, well, holler if you need me, honey, to my mom, and my mom took over. Um, but that was how a lot of things was in my household anyway. My mom was very much the dominant one. She, like, not in the sense that my dad is like he has no voice, but she's very much the go-getter. She's very much if you need something done, then she had it done before anybody else could have gotten to it anyway, so whatever. And she's a Capricorn, and Capricorns are very much a no, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself kind of mentality. So yeah. She tended to take charge anyway. So I think as far as that goes, there wasn't a lot of argument there because my dad was like, okay, have fun. Tell me if you need something. And my mom was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is the plan. you know? Um, Honestly, thinking back to when I was really little and when we went to church, I really think that that was my mother's idea, not so much my father's. My dad is Christian, but he was never die hard about being a churchgoer specifically. He's not someone who doesn't he doesn't believe that if you like going to church makes you a Christian. You can be a Christian without that, as far as he's concerned. And um, so yeah, we definitely went. Some of my grandparents on both sides were, and um, so I went, and I was in church choir when I was younger. I went into the adult choir because I love to sing, and I've always loved to sing. And it's a passion and a release for me. And I remember I actually was in the adult choir, and I guess some of the older women got annoyed, and so they made a youth choir. But um, yeah, I didn't mind going to church, but honestly, thinking back, I think my mom was more of a driving force. The pagan is the one that made us go to church. Um, because she was hungry for knowledge in spirituality, and she wanted to know a bunch of different things. She wanted answers on a lot of different things, and I think she figured out that the only way to answer those questions was to seek it in many different formats, and kind of find the similarities in everything. And I think she also understood the sacredness in worship, if that makes sense, in a community that's worshiping. There is something about hearing hymns or um, a congregation uniting together to, cook for everyone for dinner, or, there's something about that community, that circle, um, that devotion that you find, whether, you know, there's different degrees of devotion, and obviously, believe me, I'm not saying that everyone at church is a saint, but um, there is a goodness in it, and it's all its own. And you can find that in a lot of different spiritualities anyway. How people kind of team together and come together and worship, come together and hold something sacred. And I think uh, that was something that I really liked as a kid. There's there's a tape somewhere around of me when I was 3 or 4, something like that. I had a really, really, really thick Southern twang accent and a lisp. And in it, I am reciting. It's my grandpa. He's holding a tape recorder, and I'm reciting. Yeah, tape recorder. That's right. We had those. And I'm reciting John 3:16, and I'm reciting some of the Psalms and all this in my, John 3:16, like super thick accent, and it's hilarious. But I wish I still had that tape. I don't know where it is. I don't even know if maybe it's worn out and doesn't work anymore. But it definitely had my grandfather's voice on it, and so I wish I had that now because he's passed away. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I had nothing to do with either, and it wasn't like I was raised where it was like this world and then I moved to this world and they never met in between, because they met with me in between. So it wasn't a black and white thing. Honestly, the whole Christo-pagan stuff in our community, where a lot of pagans are like, I don't understand, what the hell? Hell. Okay. No, I don't understand. How can that even be possible? I'm like, well, why can't it be possible? Because if you can be, for instance, Wiccan, and use the framework of being a Wiccan, and then you integrate different elements of stuff into that Wiccan framework, but you are still Wiccan, you're just some other version of it, if you will. Why can't you do that with Christianity? Like, I know that paganism, by newer definition, is any non-Abrahamic religion, and Christianity is an Abrahamic religion. But when you combine them, neither is true, but neither is false. The biggest thing to me with that whole thing, and I'm not, to specify, I'm just saying I don't think it's that big of a jump personally, is if we have a triple goddess overall on this side, ignore my hand, that's from work. I never did write that down. Anyway, if we have a triple goddess to the pagans in general, I'm not going to use some specifics, but you get what I'm saying, and the Christians have a triple aspect of God, why doesn't it make sense to kind of like use that as a balance of a triple mother and a triple father? I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like that much of a stretch to me, and it also doesn't seem that surprising that people would read the Bible, or any version of it really, and take what they saw out of it and use it, and then leave some of the rest out. Honestly, let's talk about the Bible for a second. King James Version, he was a king. There are entire books left out of it that are about women. He wanted rulership. There are certain ways that it's written down, and every different version has its own flavor. That's for sure. So I don't see what the difference is in taking it your own way. I think everyone can look at a sentence and imagine it slightly different in their head. Words are slippery and thought is vicious. It's just how it is. So I'm getting way off topic, but did they argue about raising me as both beliefs? No, they didn't. They argued about arguing. They argued about stuff that they were passionate about, but in terms specifically of religion and how to raise me, no, they didn't. I think both of them were just kind of, I don't know, excited for me to be growing and learning. Um, yeah, I think they were just happy that I was interested, because not all kids are interested. Um, some kids want nothing to do with any of it. Some people are atheists, you know? So I think they were just happy that I was happy. um, and there's definitely different things that we disagreed on, but such is life. Whatever. It wasn't anything huge where we would stop loving each other over it. It's family. So, and I'm sorry every time I hear, like, I'm not personally sorry because I didn't do it, but I feel bad when I hear of other people who have been disowned because of their beliefs, because of their spirituality, because of who they are or what they feel, their orientations even. I feel horrible for them, not because I feel like they're helpless, but because I feel like that's not love. Like, love is unconditional, period. And yeah, I don't mean it's coddling. Definitely not. I mean, hey, you're talking to someone who works with Hecate in hell. Love can definitely be tough love. But I'm still saddened every time I hear that someone went through so much bullshit over your personal belief when nobody honestly sees anything 100% the same. We are all different. And I don't know. It's saddening that someone would put so much weight on your life in bearing to theirs. It's truth. It happens. But it's still saddening. And I'm really thankful that with my parents, I didn't have that warring back and forth over religion, over spirituality, over sacredness. Um, there's definitely warring over different things, but not that. Not that. It was more that they were just two very different approaches to life. My mom is very much the go-getter hippie, and my dad is very much the homebody, fix-it guy. So there was arguments in terms of that, but not so much religion. Um, so I hope this answered your question, and if it brought any other questions up, please let me know. I would love to do a video on it. So I'd like to say thank you to Kelly Ann of the Four Queens for giving me a bunch of these questions because she's awesome. You should go check her channel out. But yeah, so anybody else who has anything to say, please say it below. The next video will probably be from my mother's house. I'll be visiting Virginia. I'm driving out the 1st. So I will be down there, and I plan on sitting down with her and doing kind of a talk about things. 'Cause there are things that I don't remember. I was too little, and she'd probably be a lot better on giving you answers for. So if you have anything you want to ask my mother specifically, then you should also put those down and specify that it's for my mom, and I will definitely get those in too. So, I love your faces. Also, if you want to check out her channel, she's got old videos on it, but it's Wynonna Moon, and Wynonna Moon, okay? And she's on YouTube. She should be in some of my favorites on my main page. But anyway, I love your faces. Thank you for watching 14 minutes of this, as always. And anything that you want to know, any commentary, feedback, etc., please leave it below. Bye.